Hello and welcome back to Just a Conversation. I'm your host, Montrelle. This isn't a space where you have to show up with your best foot forward. It's a space where you can lay it all down, where we take off the mask and just breathe. Today's conversation is about something that isn't just a concept, it's a healing invitation, a return, a remembering. It's what I call permission to be. For me, this practice has been a quiet and sometimes loud unfolding, a path that's revealed itself across different seasons of my life, especially in moments when I found myself chasing something, trying to fit into a role, a life, a version of success, trying to become what the world told me I had to be or had to have just to survive. And I know this has happened to others. So many of us were taught directly or indirectly that our worth is measured by our output, how well we show up for others, how much we accomplish, how little space we take up, or how perfectly we follow the script. But rarely, so rarely, were we shown how to simply be with ourselves, to sit with our own truth, to rest in our own presence without performance or explanation. Permission to be is the radical, tender act of allowing yourself to exist fully, freely, and without condition. It's not about fixing or becoming, it's about remembering and returning. Returning to your truth, returning to your center, saying a quiet, courageous yes to your own presence, just as it is. That kind of permission isn't just mindset work, it's soul work, it's healing work. Giving yourself permission to be is an act of deep faith. It's saying, I trust that I am enough, even when I'm not trying so hard to be, even when I don't have the answers, when I feel lost, unseen, or unsupported. Even then, I am still enough. It's a full body surrender, a shift from striving, complying, to presence, from grasping to grounding. So many of us know the ache of constant performance. We've worn the roles that kept the peace. We've smiled through exhaustion. We've held it all together even when we were quietly falling apart. But we're learning to unlearn, to release those old patterns, to shift from performance to presence, from pretending to permission. And that unlearning, that too is sacred. That is healing. When we give ourselves permission to just be, something softens. The inner and outer critic quiets all around us. The armor begins to loosen, and we start to remember, recognize that there is nothing wrong with who we are. This is the healing, not because we've earned it, but because we've remembered who we were before the world told us who we had to be. No accolades, titles, income, or validation required. We stopped waiting on permission from the outside and began granting it to ourselves. That permission whispers, you're allowed to be right here, just as you are. And sometimes that whisper grows into a knowing that being true to yourself also means leaving behind what no longer aligns, even when it once felt like home. No matter how much love we hold for someone or place, we cannot keep placing ourselves in spaces that shrink or silence us. We can't keep offering our presence to dynamics that repeatedly wound us, especially when our soul is craving healing. not discomfort, not harm. There comes a moment when we must ask, is this a table I still belong at? Because when a table cannot see or serve the fullness of you, you will always leave hungry. That hunger, that's sacred. It's a signal. It's your soul saying it's time to build your own table. Too often we sit at tables that were built by someone else, being fed what we don't even like. Eventually we rise. We push the chair back and we lovingly walk away, not from love, but toward self honoring, toward nourishment, toward peace. That is permission. That is presence. That is power. One of the most healing truths I've come to know is this: God doesn't need our perfection. The Holy Spirit isn't evaluating our worth based on productivity, performance, the relationships we're in, or our pain tolerance. He simply desires our presence. That's the table. No conditions. Lovingly loving us as we are. Those are the tables to be built. The tables you deserve to sit at. That's the permission to give yourself now. So let me ask, what part of you has been waiting to walk away, to speak up, rest, release, or simply to be? Can you offer yourself that permission now, gently, wholeheartedly, and without needing to earn it? I'll leave you with this. You are already worthy, already enough, already loved. You do not need to become more in order to be accepted. And you don't have to wait for someone else to see it before you believe it or give it to yourself. Let today be the day you say, I give myself permission to be fully, deeply, divinely, authentically me. So breathe deeply. Show up honestly for yourself. And remember, you are already granted permission to be. You are more than enough exactly as you are. Before we close, I invite you to continue the conversation with me, to listen to more episodes of Just a Conversation, where healing, truth, and authenticity always have a seat at the table. Then join the Hey, Hi, How Are You movement, because checking in with yourself and others is a sacred act of presence. And if you're seeking deeper guidance, I offer open ear communication sessions, a safe space to be heard, supported, and gently guided through whatever season you're in. If you're ready for a conversation that meets you where you are, or to explore other offerings, visit my website through the link in the description. And if you need something to help hold the energy of this episode, I created a free fillable journal called Permission to Be. You can download it using the link in the description box. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on Just a Conversation. And until next time, have the audacity to be authentically you. I'm Montrelle, and this has been Jack.